The Neidan mastery was introduced in Eternal Embers, the latest DLC. When it first came out in late 2021, I made a Typhon speedrun with that class, and with a time of 1:25 and a bit, the Neidan class was not bad. But there was a big change in the Neidan mastery which directly influences the start. You have to put 3 more points into the Neidan thermometer before you can unlock the Dragon's Flame skill. This means that the start with the Neidan mastery is slower now. But I also realized that the Terracotta servants are quite good, so even though we have a slower early game, we will probably have a faster end game. But that's enough for the game plan for now. Let's see how the Neidan character compares in Typhon speedrun setting. The Shaman and Helos gives us a Beast Collars band, which is good, because we will use the Terracotta servants later. We start with the Dragon's Flame on level 3. Our damage output at level 4 is not good enough to take on Nessus right away, so we delay this task until we have reached a higher level. Before Megara we find another Beast Caller's ring, and after Megara we find our first Hermes sandal. And you see this correctly, we delay Nessus until level 6. This is still a long and boring fight, but our Dragon's Flame won't get any better. In retrospect, it might have been a good idea to delay Nessus even further until when we have the Terracotta servants, but fighting Nessus at level 6 felt late enough already. From the Nessus chest we get a second Hermes sandal, and back in Sparta we buy Reps of Travel with 9% movement speed. This adds up to 19% movement speed, but still 16 minutes passed without any speed bonus. In Delphi we take all the points out of the Dragon's Flame and start using the Terracotta servants. For now we can only summon one of these clay warriors, but after reaching level 8 we get a second companion. I also picked up a carved Staff of Thunder, which grants a tiny bonus on lightning damage, which might help later when we use the Shen Pao. At the Parnassus Hinterlands we buy a Beast Caller's necklace, so now we have all 3 Beast Caller's items that we need. Not long after we find a Satyr Mage who wears a Hood of a Magi. We gain some casting speed and a slightly mystical or kinky aura from it. Now it is time to kill the Gorgons. I tell my Terracotta servants to wait patiently until I lured Uriel towards us, and once they engage, the healing Gorgon sister goes down without any issues. We repeat the process with Medusa, and then finally Steno falls victim to the 2 green fighters. The Majestic chest rewards us with Necromancer's leggings, which we do not need because they only give a bonus of 10% on movement speed. However, the trader outside the Gorgon cave offers us embossed leggings of journeying with 21% movement speed. And we do have some attribute points left, so this purchase is a no-brainer. We continue our way towards Athens. Unfortunately, we do not have enough money to get the Hermes sandal out of the old wraps and into the new, shiny, fast leggings. So we have to run through Athens catacombs without any sandals on our leggings. Or do we? We find an essence of Hermes sandal on the final level of the catacombs. The fight against Alistor is once again on the tougher side, as our Terracotta servants take damage in Alistor's aura. They unfortunately go down before Alistor dies, so we have to resummon the clay warriors a couple of times. I guess I'm quite lucky that no one will notice the abysmal placement of our blade trap. It doesn't even attack. We throw a few more Terracotta warriors and staff projectiles at the undead ghost, and after almost 2 minutes Alistor finally goes down. With the level up now, we have a full Terracotta servant skill and also unlock the inner equilibrium, which grants movement speed as long as we don't drink any potions. We also have enough money to finally transfer the Hermes sandal into the leggings of journeying, which brings our equipment movement speed up to plus 36%. Then we reach the Minoan Labyrinth and will face the Minotaur Lord next. With the patience of a squirrel on speed, I rush into the boss room and almost die to a tremor attack. The level up during the fight recovers our HP, we set a blade trap, and from this point, the fight against the bull goes smoothly. The Telkin has 2 skills that are dangerous for us, one of them being the mind control AoE, where it takes over our pets, the other one is spawning Limosses. so when the Telkin uses both in succession, I decided to fall back and wait for the Terracotta Servants to get back on our side. Once the Limoses are dead, we can corner the Telkin, attack it with our standard attacks, and our Terracotta Servants are strong enough to take it out relatively quickly. Next up, the big old Scarab in the Library Vault. With the battle marker we get before the fight, this one is easy. The Terracotta Servants rush in and kill the insect without any difficulties. Then we get a Shrine of Mastery, which means we can summon new Terracotta Servants which now have the maximum level of 20, and with the battle marker before the fight against the Beast of Legend, we are making quick work of the Scorpion. We then again help the surrounded Promethean, because it is a very quick and easy way to get more experience.
That was a bit close.
Down at the bottom of the Great Sphinx we will have to face the Walking Stones, and the two Terracotta Servants start demolishing the shrines like two drunk teenagers, and then bash the statues' heads in like two drunk teenagers. Lots of damage, and we luckily escape with a Hand of Balance before the police can intervene. Our escape route leads us to the Temple of Atum. I try to dodge Neabkar's attack while keeping him from moving too much. And once our two fast and furious fighters finish the stinky Scorpion, we grab the eye and travel back to Memphis. At level 13 we unlock the Shen Pao and the Consequences. The Shen Pao gives us another way to deal damage to our enemies, not much for now, and the Consequences gives all our attacks the chance to lower our enemies' resistances. A glowing yellow orb above the enemies will now indicate the triggered consequences. In the Tome of Ramses we find another Shrine of Mastery, which is very good, because we can once again summon new Terracottas. Our old companions were a bit low on health, and now we can resummon them with full life. During the battle against Arctaios you can see the aforementioned yellow orb above the Telkin, which indicates that its resistances are lowered. The fight itself is not that exciting, the clay warriors deal damage, and we try to tank the Telkin's attack as best as possible. We then find another Shrine of Mastery before the Sand Wraith Lord, resummon the Terracotta Servants, and open the portal to the east. Then we have to face the Chimera, which has the potential to deal lots of damage, and even killed the wolves during the nature run. This time, one of our Terracottas dies to the monster's lightning attack, but we quickly resummon it, and the Chimera dies shortly after. At the Natu La Ridge, I decided to help out a caravan in trouble. With our two servants, it is a very easy quest to complete, and every skill point will raise our damage output. Another Shrine of Mastery lets us resummon our fully powered level 20 clay companions. The Gargantuan Yeti is also on the list of enemies I'd like to kill, simply because the bonus of plus 100% health for all pets is great for the Neidan run. Yet again, another Shrine of Mastery, and the quest The Child and the Raptor follow after that. Same reasoning as the Caravan quest, it is quick and I'd like to use every skill point I can get. Next up is the Demon Bull, but before that fight we use a Shrine of Regeneration to heal our warriors back to full health. Then we use a Blade Trap, try to get the Demon Bull to stand right on it, and let our Terracotta Servants do the rest. Our only job is to dispense the Consequences debuff, which, as I mentioned earlier, lowers the enemy's resistances. On the way to the Wuzhou, I put an essence of the Anchor of Isis into one of my rings, and instantly receive a shotgun blast to the face. First death, can't do a run without one. We still have a few scrolls of the Storm Witches, I don't exactly know why, but this means that we can use one of them against the third Tailkin. So, a woman, 2 harpies and 2 clay statues walk into Typhon's prison. Orminos asks, what is this, some kind of joke? It is not, and the Tailkin will learn that in this battle. We dodge its attacks, try to keep the aggro, and can ultimately move on towards the top of Olympus. And once we reach the Rebirth Fountain, we go back to the main menu to not die to the Limoses. On top of the Olympus we face Typhon, and I go for what I can only describe as the worst shrine management I've ever seen. Instead of using the Shrine of Mastery to summon new Terracotta Warriors, I waste it for a few Shen powers, and instead of giving the battle marker bonus to the warriors, I just use it for myself. The game plan for this fight is the following: dodge the life leeches, but stay close enough to keep the Terracottas in the fight. And I get through this fight without getting my life sucked out of me, which means that after 1 hour, 20 minutes and 24 seconds we can step through the final portal. I'd say that the run with the Neidan Mastery is moderately difficult. It has a very slow early game, but the Terracotta Warriors definitely pack a punch in the late game. To effectively use the consequences in boss battles, you have to stand still from time to time, and therefore you are susceptible to damage in these situations. The time is good, but also greatly benefits from the huge movement speed. So Neidan for me sits solidly in B tier. Next up, Dream.